Welcome back to the Spotlight. As promised, we've got Marlo, Gordon, and Maria here from the Musicians Community Center. I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
So Marlo, tell me a little bit about yourself and some of your experience in the music industry.
Well, I don't have a lot of experience in the music industry other than being married to a musician. But I do have a lot of experience in the nonprofit sector. I worked for a nonprofit organization for 11 years, and I have a deep passion for that and a good understanding of what it takes to run a nonprofit. And I've always wanted to have my own nonprofit organization, so that's how this all came about.
All right, now tell me about some of our other guests here. We got Gordon and Maria. Why don't you tell me what their roles are, or speak for yourselves. Tell me your roles with the community center.
Well, I pretty much help out on all the music aspect of everything.
Okay.
We get involved with a lot of the teaching, dealing with the musicians and how they need to, what's the best word to you know, present themselves as far as, you know, writing their music, how they can get it published, how they, you know, a lot of different business aspects of the music. Most of the musicians, they do one thing really good, and it's perform, play their music, write it, and we try to help them on the back end of things to kind of really help them promote them and
kind of the business side of things.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and Maria, what is it that you're going to do for us at the community center?
Well, my experience is over 25 years behind the scenes and in front of the camera. I'm over 25 years of professional performing artist.
Okay, well that's awesome. That's great. So plenty of knowledge for all aspects of what you guys are trying to establish here. So I guess tell me a little bit about, you know, what is the passion? What is the goal behind the community center? You know, why start something like this?
Well, Gordon and I, 6 years ago, bought a building in Warren.
Okay.
It's a 13,000 square foot building. It's located off of 9 Mile between Hoover and Groesbeck.
Okay.
And we saw a need in the community where musicians needed a place to practice. So we built 30 rehearsal rooms in this facility, and we completed that a year ago.
Okay.
And
we actually, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, we covered that on the Spotlight. For those of you who may think that, you know, Gordon looks a little familiar, that's because we did cover the Hive Colony, and, you know, you guys are doing some great things over there, absolutely.
Yeah, the Hive Colony is a concept of the beehives and 30 rooms for the hives, so that's where that name came about. But when we finished that, you know, we felt so blessed at being a tough economic time, and here we were starting a business in a tough time, and we were very successful. And we felt very blessed by that. But not only did we see the need that these musicians need a place to practice, they needed way more than just a place to practice. Kind of a book for musicians for dummies for a concept, you know, but they need to have that. But we decided to do a center where we can help the musicians in ways more than just give them space. And that's where we started talking, and I wanted to do it as a nonprofit because we were so blessed. I wanted to be able to, you know, give back to the community. So we had the front office space, which is 3,500 or 3,500 square feet in the front office there that we decided that's an ideal location to build a community center. And so we started that a year ago as a nonprofit through Michigan, and then we decided to apply for our federal 501. So that application is still in the process.
Okay.
And our goal is to help educate, encourage, and empower local musicians. There's no school you can go to learn how to promote yourself, learn about social media, how to produce your own music video, how to record your own songs, and how to protect copyright, you know, and things like that. So that's what we want to do, to offer educational services to them.
Okay, and now is the services for experienced musicians, or are you all levels of experience?
All levels and all genres of music. So anybody who's in need, they can come down to the center and we help them with these resources. So we also want to have guest speakers come in and talk about, you know, those topics and, you know, local area professionals, and build a music community through corporate partnerships as well.
Okay. So. Tell me a little bit about some of the instructors that you guys have going on. I'm assuming experienced musicians and things of that nature. Can you just tell me about some of the instructions?
One of the things we wanted to do at the center, not only help musicians who are already active,
Right.
but also educate as far as guitar lessons, bass lessons, drum lessons, vocal, and keyboard.
Okay.
So that was something we wanted to start as well, and through the grace of God, we were blessed with an opportunity where a school, former School of Rock, had closed down locally.
Okay.
And they had 50 students there, and they
Oh,
had
my
nowhere
goodness.
to go. And they called us, I'm gonna get a little emotional here. They called us last January and said, our school's closing down, and these kids have nowhere to go. And they came to us, and we thought, how ideal for us to also offer music lessons and become a school. So hence our name, Musicians Community Center and Rock Academy.
Okay.
So we now have these 50 kids who are not just kids. There's actually adults too. There's an
Okay.
adult performance group and kid performance group. There's actually 4 performance groups, all different ages. So we brought on many of their staff members that they had. Troy Gregory is our lead instructor, and
Okay.
he's a big kid himself and an amazing musician, and the kids just love him, and we were honored to have brought him onto our staff. Of course, we hired Gordon as
Okay.
our drum instructor, and Maria is our vocal coach, and we also have 3 or 4 other staff members.
All right, well, we have a couple instructors here. So Gordon, you said the lead drum instructor. I guess if somebody's looking to get in to possibly learning how to play the drums, what is some bit of advice that you would tell them, maybe, just getting started?
Well, one of the most important things, drums is a very difficult instrument. You have to use all 4 of your limbs, and the way the brain works to communicate with all 4 limbs simultaneously becomes a very daunting task to begin with.
Yeah, I can barely walk and chew gum at the same time, so I can imagine playing drums.
Right. I've been taking lessons, I think back in '76, and like for 30 years
Okay.
and stuff. So, and all locally too, over at Eligio's Music and all kinds of stuff. But I got involved teaching a little bit, and one of the most gratifying things is to really seeing how people develop. And I've got some of these young kids, real little kids and stuff, amazing. I got a 10-year-old that's just absolutely amazing drummer. And basically there's a lot of techniques through lessons, but getting them out there doing performance stuff and watching these kids develop in a proper way, because playing drums, there's a lot of bad habits you can form,
Okay.
and that could turn into a bad thing later on when you've developed. So we try to foresee these things and control that and fix it, and get these kids on a proper path of learning and developing.
Well, that's great. And I know my dad especially always says he's played in bands his whole life. And he said, basically the band is as good as your drummer, because he's keeping the rhythm, he's keeping your tempo. If you don't have a good drummer, you might as well just keep looking until you find one, because it's not going to happen for you.
Right.
Now, Maria, you are one of the lead vocal coaches. Mm-hmm. The biggest concern, the biggest question that I'll hear about is, I'd like to be a singer, but I'm just terrified of singing in public. How do you get, your singers to get over that stage fright?
Well, being a vocal coach, I'm also a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Okay.
So a lot of it is building self-confidence in a person. And a lot of times when someone is a bad singer, it's because they don't have the confidence that they need to understand what they're doing. So I end up being a psychiatrist, psychologist at the same time, helping them build the confidence as well as learning more about what they're doing, and so they're comfortable. And then once you know what you're about and what you're doing, what your limitations are, it becomes more comfortable to be on stage. You don't feel so.
Okay, so there's hope. Basically, if you think you have it, and there's actually that hope where you can actually get over that stage fright.
Even if you don't think you have it, sometimes I show examples of famous people that they're not the greatest singers in the world, but they have something that the audience connects with.
Okay.
And it's not always about being a technical great singer. It's about learning to sing in key and able to connect with your audience.
Absolutely. And I think, you said it on the money. There's been plenty of famous singers who aren't the greatest singers. And as soon as you say that, a few come to mind. It would be Axl Rose, Kurt Cobain, some of the, greats of, my era, I suppose. And yeah, definitely not the greatest singing voices, but they were somehow able to just make it happen.
Bob Dylan, not the
there you
greatest,
go.
but he's a phenomenal songwriter.
Right. Sings from
And-
the heart and has that passion.
And he knows how to connect with his audience, so it becomes a psychological, task as well.
Right.
And just building self-confidence. It's more about your own self-esteem and your self-confidence and being able to connect with someone.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys once again for coming along. If somebody is interested in checking you guys out, what's a good website for them to check out?
Nick, they can go to our website at www.musicianscommunitycenter.org.
Okay.
Or we have our website for the Rock Academy. It's www.mccrockacademy.com. We also have an upcoming fundraiser.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about
July 13th at the Detroit Pub at 14 and Harper. It's an
Okay.
all-day event, $5 donation at the door. The kids, the performance group of the teen kids will be performing, and the adults. We also have 8 other local bands that will be performing throughout the night, including Maria.
that. Oh, really? And we got a little bit of time here. Tell us a little bit about what they might be able to expect from, maybe they saw you on here and they want to come check you out. What's your band all about?
Well, I have a couple different bands. I
Okay.
have an acoustic trio, Acoustic Stories. I have Wade Street, that's a cover band, and I have Black Ghost Bandit, which is an all-original band.
Oh, very, very cool.
So-
Well, it looks like the big things coming out of the Hive Colony and the Rock Academy and the Musicians Community Center. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out, taking some time out of your schedule. I want to thank you guys for sticking around. Speaking of sticking around, that's exactly what you guys are going to have to do watching at home. Stick around. There's more Spotlight coming right up and a great musical performance just around the corner, so don't go anywhere. There's more Spotlight coming right up.